Welcome back to PopCon, everybody. A salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. I'm your host, Victor, and I've got a flashback just for you. Have you subscribed yet? Great. Picture it. Blockbuster Night. 1980 something.
Life begins after school.
School's out for the week. You're looking forward to spending the night with a couple of your closest friends. One being the most popular new kid, the VCR. Beating out Beta for the most popular version of video playback, the VCR meant one thing: movie night. But what to get? What will be on the screen tonight? You might go in with your heart set on one thing and come out let down. Or with a brand new title you're shocked you never heard of. Getting ready for the evening meant gathering your group of friends together and heading to the video store by perhaps a sister or the one friend with a driver's license. As a united front, everyone started looking, finding the holy grail of filmdom. Actually, two. It was always a double feature. Just like streaming is today, you take just as long browsing new titles and even oldies until you find just the right one. Aisles of videos made your head spin. You couldn't believe this many movies were even made. When were they made? Sure, they ran the gambit of classic Hollywood, which wasn't on your watch list, to last year's horror films, which was definitely going to be one of the picks for the night. Video rental had come a long way quickly. The first American films released on VHS were The Sound of Music, Patton, and MASH.
That not many movies were available on videotape. In 1977, there were only a handful available, about 50.
And at an average retail cost of $50 to $70 each to own, ownership was a long way off. Although when Star Wars was released on VHS in 1982 at $80 to own, it was mostly bought by rental companies, and suddenly the choices were endless, and rental was the way to go.
I'd never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
Even with Star Wars out there, it was rare to find. Those who did own it did so probably by recording it off network showing of it in 1983.
Coming on next, the greatest science fiction adventure ever filmed. Alec Guinness, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher star in the adventures of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. Star Wars.
Finding big blockbusters and well-known mega hits could be difficult. Studios were afraid of video, and they resisted it until they had to submit. And only then, they were selling their movies on VHS that no one in the 80s could afford. Big title VHSs for $79.99 or $99.99, if available at all. It wasn't until E.T.'s huge video release on October 27, 1988, 6 years after the movie's release, that the price was more modest at $24.99. It was the cheapest movie blockbuster to own and changed the world of buying and owning your favorite films that most of us only had that one chance to see in the theaters.
Pepsi-Cola is pleased to announce that E.T. has come home. Home on video cassette. And to make sure everyone can bring E.T. home, Pepsi is...
Few thought of owning a copy of their favorite film since there would always be video rental.
In the early days, it took years for an iconic movie's release, so you found some lesser-known films.
During the video store experience, you were surely going to hear a familiar voice or bump into a friend or family, teacher, or another group of friends doing the same thing you were. You might even stop and see what entertainment choice they made that could possibly sway your selection. The video rental store was perfect for discovering a familiar title you always wanted to see.
Now this is a video store.
Or a movie completely new to you, selected solely on the cover art and the synopsis on the back, which could end up an unknown gem. You found the one! Picking up the mock cover from the shelf, you suddenly realize there are no copies available. There are no branded, boxed copies of the film lying in wait behind the empty cover. Damn, hope's dashed, now you have to start your search all over again. The smell of popcorn permeates the store, and the video being featured on the overhead TVs might catch your eye. And you may just be interested in bringing home a beaut like... As your team gets back together and finally agrees on an action comedy and a horror film, you head to the front. In a last-ditch effort for the lost one you had your heart set on, you ask the young girl at the counter if your would-be cinema masterpiece was being returned that day. It could be in the return drop box. If they had the time or thought you were cute, they might even look. If it was there, let's just hope they rewound it. Even if it was planned to be returned, what's to say the customer didn't keep it another night just to pay the extra fee? Well, no luck on that movie, maybe next time. But you got these two anyway, so you proudly pull out your membership card. This was bigger than Country Club membership and was your access to new movies, films you loved or were going to fall in love with. Hey 80s fans, we'll continue just as soon as you subscribe. If you like skating rinks, arcades, or We Are the World, then you're going to love PopCon. So please like, comment, share, but especially help me out by simply subscribing. Alright, now back to my flashback already in progress. You head home making sure you had enough Doritos and soda pop for the night. Yes, I called it pop growing up. And there was no doubt someone was ordering pizza later and then watching the clock for 30-minute delivery. But that's a story for a whole other flashback. Making the proper adjustments to turn your TV to the right setting for VCR, you settle in to snack and watch the comedy first. The horror is for later. Enjoying the likes of... You bond and laugh out loud while getting rowdy on a Friday night with friends. First move's over, time to pee. Get on the phone for the pizza because it's late and time for this macabre masterpiece. And see just how scary it really is. Or gory, as was the time period. And who knows, maybe there was a little TNA in it too, as was common. Movie nights with friends, or even your siblings, would evolve into date nights before long, where foreplay was the video store, and cuddling on the couch in the dark was the payoff. Long before Netflix and chill, it was Blockbuster and chill, and whatever came next. This was the era of pause, and even looping. Quick rewatch of your favorite part over and over and over again until your hysterics cause you to piss your pants. Then there was slow motion, looking for those little secrets, those Easter eggs before they were Easter eggs, or a quick hint of nudity you missed the first time around. Things that were never meant to be seen at normal speed. Mind you, the resolution rate and clarity sucked big time, but we had nothing like it before, so it was priceless. VCRs were the norm, but DVD slowly transitioned in the late 90s. In 97, DVD and VHS lived harmoniously in the rental store. Owning a film became more and more affordable, and as studios released on DVD the same time as VHS, the new format was hard to beat, and the last VHS tape was produced in 2008. By this time, there was DVD rentals through mail, and more people chose to own their films and not even rent. With the rise of digital downloads, Blu-ray, and streaming, rentals were becoming extinct. Even in their 80s and 90s heyday, video rentals were still cheaper than going to the movies. I guess some things never change. But we also thought going to the movies was never going to change either. It was the place to see the biggest movies that were being talked about, anticipated films with all the buzz. Who knew when they'd make it to home video? So you couldn't miss them. You and hundreds of other like-minded moviegoers sat in the dark, together in that shared experience, enjoying the excitement of the new thrill together, to talk about the following day at school, and finally to race to rent it when it was released, and make it another Blockbuster night.
Wow, 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 what a difference. Blockbuster Video.
Come discover the Blockbuster.
Thanks for joining me for a Friday night in the 1980s. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it and help me out a lot. And come back for another flashback soon. Until next time.